Greetings, all you movie junkies and entertainment lovers, and welcome to my collection overview video 2022 edition. And I can't even get it all in frame. That's great. This is going to be a little bit different. I thought some of you have, I think, asked me about whether or not I would do a collection overview video, and as you can see, I have quite a collection. I've been collecting for about 9 years now at the time of this video, getting close to about 10 years. I've sold a lot of things and have kind of, acquired a lot of things and, upgraded a lot of things. And so it's, this is kind of what you're seeing, kind of almost a decade of collecting right here. But so I thought I'd do just kind of an overview video, just try and sort of, just kind of go over everything that I have in my collection in one video, and yeah, so here we go. So this is my collection overview. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so starting off here in the horror Blu-ray section, we have some kind of modern horror stuff here. We've got The Babadook, we've got It, we've got Insidious, Chapter 1 and 2, and then I have a bunch of the Conjuring films. I just ordered the Conjuring Universe box set, which has a bunch of them, so I'm just going to end up probably selling these off. But really love the Conjuring films. We've got It Follows, Troll Hunter, Cloverfield, both the first two Cloverfield films, The Cabin in the Woods, and Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Those are both great horror comedies. The first Final Destination film, Krampus, Wolf Cop, that's a fun movie. The first 4 Purge films, I still don't have the last one, but I personally really enjoyed them, especially Purge Anarchy, the second one. And then as we move over to the next section, we have the first 3 Underworld films. I've still only seen the first one. I've watched the first one a bunch of times. Always really enjoyed it. So one of these days I gotta watch the other ones. I think there's actually about 5 of them total, but there you go, I have the first 3. Then we have all of the Resident Evil films. We have Halloween, the 35th Anniversary Steelbook Edition. We have the 40th Anniversary Edition, which are basically just the same edition as I found out when I bought the 40th Anniversary. We have the 30th Anniversary of Halloween 2, and then the regular Blu-ray of Season of the Witch, as well as Halloween 4 and 5. We have Halloween 2018, followed by all of the Scream movies, including the newest one. And then the last section of the top shelf here, we have both the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th collections here, as well as, of course, Freddy vs. Jason. We have the 60th Anniversary edition of the original Psycho. We have both the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the remake. We have Return of the Living Dead, Stuart Gordon's From Beyond, the Fly remake, which is one of the few remakes that's actually better than the original Poltergeist, From Dusk Till Dawn, My Name is Bruce, which is a really fun movie with Bruce Campbell, which I highly recommend if you're a Bruce Campbell fan. We have the Hellraiser 4, 5, 6, and 8, I believe. I think there's actually, these are out of order, but anyway. I mainly just only have this for Bloodline. That's the only really one I care about in that collection. And then we have Chud 2, but the Chud, which has nothing to do with the original Chud movie, which is terrible, but this one I actually really like. It's quite a lot of fun. We have the Evil Dead trilogy, followed by the first 2 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead, which was so good. Such a shame it only lasted 3 seasons. I meant to get the first season, but it's kind of seems to be unavailable now. I don't know if there's a complete series 1 or not, so I don't know. I guess I might sell these and see if I can try and get that. These aren't really kind of considered horror movies, but we have Brazil and Silence of the Lambs. So there you go. I didn't know where else to put those, so yeah. And then as we move down to the next shelf here, this is when we start to get into some of my collection stuff here. From Second Sight Films, we have the Dawn of the Dead limited edition box set, which has all the different cuts of the movie, has the novelization, has the soundtrack CDs, everything. I don't think you can get this anymore, but I do believe they put out a less limited edition version that still has all the disc content. So yeah, great stuff. Love Dawn of the Dead, one of my all-time favorite movies. And then this is kind of when we start to get into my Arrow Video collection. Arrow Video, one of the best sort of boutique labels in the physical media world. And we first of all have the limited edition steelbook of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Actually, what's funny about that is I actually did own the original edition of the Elvira, Mistress of the Dark Blu-ray, the regular Blu-ray edition, but I really didn't care for the cover. If I could put the cover up on the screen, I will, but I didn't really like the cover, and the original poster art, which they always include on the reversible sleeve, I also didn't really think was that good either. So when I saw that they put out this steelbook with this cover, which I really like, I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to trade it in and get that version, and I'm glad I did. I love that movie. And then we have the Children of the Corn trilogy Blu-ray set, which they put out recently. Really good stuff. Has the sort of international version of Children of the Corn 2, which I had never seen before, which has some really interesting effects sequences that they cut out, which definitely add to the experience for sure. That's something. And then we have the Gamera Showa era and Heisei era collections. I sort of missed out on the limited edition box set, but I'm glad that I got those. My favorite Gamera movie would have to be Gamera 2, Attack of Legion. Then we have the Tremors limited edition set that Arrow put out. Was sad to hear about the passing of Fred Ward a little earlier this year. But yeah, Tremors is one of my all-time favorite movies, so I had to get that. That's really great stuff. And then we have the Hellraiser trilogy box set. And then moving on to the next section, really getting into, you can see how much Arrow stuff that I've got. This is one of the prized pieces of my collection. We have the 6 Gothic Tales by Edgar Allan Poe Vincent Price collection, which has The Fall of the House of Usher, The Pit of the Pendulum, Tales of Terror, The Raven, The Haunted Palace, and Tomb of Ligeia. Great stuff. Then we have the limited edition of Creepshow 2, which, as you can see, has the comic book adaptation of the story that they never filmed. I really love Creepshow 2. I don't understand why people hate on this one. To me, it's almost as good as the original one, which is one of my all-time favorite films. So, I don't know. I love Creepshow 2. Then we have a really, really great early 80s slasher film, The Mutilator, also known as Full Break, which is apparently finally getting a sequel after more than 40 years, with the original director coming back, so that's kind of interesting. We have, of course, the John Carpenter classic, The Thing. We have the Count Yorga collection. We have the Bloodthirsty trilogy, which is some Japanese, sort of Japanese, it's Toho Studios, actually, take on, essentially, Hammer's Dracula, them doing that. It's really good stuff, especially the vampire doll. That one's really creepy. Hell Comes to Frogtown with Roddy Piper. Day of Anger with Lee Van Cleef. Coffee with Pam Grier. We have The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. Psycho 2, which is a phenomenal sequel. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I love. The Stuff. The Beyond, House, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Maniac Cop, and Zombie Flesh Eaters. And then we have Society, one of my all-time favorite films that I watch every New Year's Eve. The Burbs is kind of a little tradition for me. Some more Vincent Price, Theater of Blood, Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive, City of the Living Dead, John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China, love Big Trouble in Little China, some more Vincent Price, and Peter Lorre this time, Comedy of Terrors, the original Hills Have Eyes, The Burning, Night of the Comet, Candyman, Contamination, and then we have some John Carpenter stuff here, Prince of Darkness, The Fog, Escape from New York, They Live, and from Second Sight, Assault on Precinct 13, and we have the A Night of the Living Dead remake, which I, of course, did do a review of, if you want to check that out on the channel, and I, of course, infamously think that it's better than the original. It's the remnants of the horror collection or stuff here. We have sort of some of my 88 films stuff. We have, first of all, we have Land of the Dead. There's a new 2-disc edition of Land of the Dead that I really want to get. We have another one of my all-time favorites, Trick or Treat, which I watch every Halloween. Love Trick or Treat, so good. We have Night of the Demons 2. They have not put out a Region B edition of the first Night of the Demons, which is kind of strange. Then we have a bunch of stuff from the 88 film Slasher Classics collection, Slaughterhouse, which is really great, The Boogeyman, Scarecrows, Scalps, Mountaintop Motel Massacre, and Blood-Sucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh. And then Zombie Flesh Eaters Free, also known as Zombie Free, also known as a bunch of other things. Invasion USA with Chuck Norris, Dead Heat, Ghost Town, Zombie Free. That's confusing. So that's that, which is also known as Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, so those are kind of in the wrong order there. Burial Ground, and then Zombie Creeping Flesh. So it's all sort of... I will say I do love my sort of Italian zombie flicks, I won't lie. And then we have the first free... We have my Full Moon Features collection here. We have the first free Puppet Master Films, Demonic Toys, Trancers, and then probably what is their best movie that Full Moon ever made, Tourist Trap, which is actually a legitimately creepy movie. Really good stuff. And then the next section here we have, of course, an all-time great classic, Misery. Love Misery. We have John Carpenter's version of Village of the Damned, which is really underrated. I really like that one. And then we have House of the Long Shadows, which just got put out not long ago by Fabulous Films. That's a really good one. Some bunch of horror legends in that. We have some stuff from Eureka here. We have a little... what is this? The Free Monsters Tales of Sci-Fi Terror collection. And that has Man-Made Monster, The Monolith Monsters, and Monster on the Campus. We have Sleepwalkers. This is the limited edition with the slipcover. Love Sleepwalkers, great movie. The Dark Half, Night of the Creeps. The Exorcist, this is the Uber Blu-ray edition, which has everything in it. All the different cuts, all the documentaries, all the special features, everything. It has it all. We have the 2-pack with Mind Warp and Brain Scan. Some of you might remember I did a review of Brain Scan about 2 or 3 years ago now. Love Brain Scan, but Mind Warp is terrible. We have the first 2 Ghoulies films. There's about 4 total, but the first 2 are really the only ones worth watching. We have a little bit of a Hammer horror section. We have some of the Frankenstein Dracula stuff. We have The Curse of Frankenstein, Evil of Frankenstein, The Brides of Dracula, Taste the Blood of Dracula, and Dracula AD 1972, followed by my personal favorite version of Dracula, the 1979 version directed by John Badham, starring Frank Langella. And then we have the Mummy trilogy with Brendan Fraser, followed by the Dark Universe Mummy, which I personally kind of had fun with, even though it had some problems. And then we also have the Wolfman remake, which I actually really enjoyed that one. I actually thought that was really good. And then the last remaining remnants of horror, then going into kind of transitioning into the comedy section. Also forgot to mention, I do, of course, as you can see, I've ordered my stuff by genre. I know some people are like, well, you've got to organize it by alphabetical. That's the best way to do it. And it's like, I mean, look, if that's the way that you like to, organize it, fine. Okay, this is the way I like to organize it. This is the way it works for me. So just. Don't bother with that, okay? Because this is the correct way to organize your movie collection. So we have Phantom of the Opera. We have all of the Universal monster classics. So the Frankenstein collection, the Dracula collection, the Mummy collection, the Wolfman collection, the Invisible Man collection, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon collection, legacy collections, which of course do have quite a bit of overlap, but it is nice to have them all. And then of course if you're going to have those, you've got to have Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, which is great. We have of course the Halloween staple, Hocus Pocus, really good. I did see Hocus Pocus 2, which, was pretty good, not nowhere near as good as I was hoping it was going to be. We have the 2 Addams Family films from the 90s, which was my introduction to the Addams Family. Love both of these movies. A lot of people argue about, which one is better. I personally kind of love both of these equally. I think they're both really equally good for different reasons. And then we have the Monsters movie, Monster Go Home. We have the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 Blu-ray. I want to get the trilogy Blu-ray, which has Afterlife in it. Ghost, which I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest, but I just really love Whoopi Goldberg's performance in this one, so that's a really fun one. And then we have Memoirs of an Invisible Man, John Carpenter's Memoirs of an Invisible Man, which I also did a review of. Really underrated. I don't understand why that one doesn't get more love. That's a really fun one. And then we have Three Amigos, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Groundhog Day. And now we're in the comedy section. And Groundhog Day I watch multiple times a year. I love that movie. Alright, and now we're really moving into the comedy section here. So we have some Christmas stuff. We have this is sort of my go-to Christmas film. We have Scrooged with Bill Murray, which is definitely my favorite incarnation of A Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol, which has been adapted way too many times at this point, but this is my personal favorite version that I always try to watch every year. One of my all-time favorite films, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which just recently got a 4K release, and they got 70-something minutes of unreleased footage on it, which is really cool. So definitely kind of want to get that at some point. The Only View Askew-verse movies from Kevin Smith, Clerks, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Blues Brothers, Rear Window, love Rear Window, that's my favorite Alfred Hitchcock film. Bird on a Wire, Spaceballs, Total Recall, the first 5 Mission Impossible films. This is when we're getting into some of my Western stuff here. So we have the Man with No Name trilogy, which of course is a must. Once Upon a Time in the West. A phenomenal film, High Noon, which is really worth a watch, just even if you're not a fan of Westerns. That's just a really phenomenal movie, but that's definitely one of my all-time favorite Westerns right there. Another one of my all-time favorites, Bone Tomahawk, which is probably the most disturbing Western ever made. I guess it's technically a full-on horror Western, really. Phenomenal movie, love it. The Magnificent Seven remake, and as well as Django Unchained, and The Hateful Eight. And then we have kind of going into sort of transitioning out of that, we have Gran Torino, Cop Car, Leon the Professional, the Rocky Heavyweight Collection, the Creed films, and then we have another case of I didn't really know where to put it. We have, of course, the Twin Peaks, the Entire Mystery, and the Missing Pieces collection, as well as the recent Twin Peaks revival series, which is really great. We have Scarface, the Die Hard films, the Die Hard trilogy with the Die Hard with a Vengeance steelbook, the first 2 Terminator films, which as far as I'm concerned are the only ones really worth owning, and the RoboCop remake, which gets a lot of hate, but I personally kind of enjoy this. Not as much as the original, but I don't know, I kind of like the RoboCop remake. And then the last part of this shelf here, we have Last Action Hero of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lucy, The Matrix, the Back to the Future trilogy, which I love, try to watch those every year, the Indiana Jones Complete Adventures, can't wait for the new one, the Star Trek Stardate Blu-ray collection, which has the first 10 movies, pretty bad transfers on a lot of those, with a lot of DNR and stuff, but I mean, what are you going to do? It's kind of the only way you can get those on Blu-ray. We have the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, which I really liked, especially the first one. And then I was really happy to get this, if I can pull it out here, the recent Star Trek 4 movie collection, 4K/Blu-ray, which gave the first 4 movies proper 4K transfers. But it's really annoyed me because they've now put out, just recently, not long after putting out that collection, they put out a proper collection which has all 6 of the original crew movies, and I'm like, well, why didn't you just put that out in the first place? So now I don't know, I kind of want to get the 6 movie collection, but I already spent a lot of money on the 4 movie collection. I don't really care about 5, to be honest. I'm probably just gonna end up getting the regular edition, or the singular edition of 6. So yeah, I'm just really frustrated. I wish they just would have put out the big collection in the beginning. I don't know why they had to tease us and then just give us the last 2. It's 2 more movies. Was it really that difficult? But yeah, anyway, so yeah, probably just gonna end up keeping that and then get 6 at some point. But yeah, but I'm happy that they at least finally gave them proper sort of good looking transfers of the movies, because again, the ones that were on this collection looked pretty poor, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, now we need the next generation films, so I'm hoping they're going to announce those soon. And then finally we have the Alien anthology, followed by Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And then, of course, as you probably guessed, we're now sort of in my sci-fi section here. So first up, we have a bunch of like classic sci-fi stuff here. We have Irwin Allen's original Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea movie. We have The Day the Earth Stood Still, Fantastic Voyage, It Came from Outer Space, Forbidden Planet, Gremlins 2, the new batch, the premium collection version, which I actually don't own the original Gremlins, but I actually am one of those people that slightly prefers the sequel over the original film. Then we have Blade Runner, the final cut Blu-ray, which the final cut is the only version of that Blade Runner I've ever seen. And then we also have Blade Runner 2049. And then I'm sure this might cause a bit of controversy. We have really the only bootleg I have in my collection, but it is one that has just as much love and effort put into it as a regular release, and that's the Star Wars despecialized editions of the original trilogy. If they made the original trilogies available, the original versions of the original cuts of the original trilogy available, I would pay money and buy them and support the releases, but they don't want to do that, so don't have a lot of options. And I'm not going to buy the terrible despecialized editions, which they just seem every couple of years they just seem to keep adding to and making it worse and worse and worse. And yeah, I don't know, not a fan. I don't own the prequels because personally I'm not really a fan of the prequels. If you're a fan of the prequels, that's great. Me personally, that's not, you know, not my Star Wars. Although Revenge of the Sith has some pretty good stuff in it. But I do have, of course, the sequel trilogy, which I personally did really, really love. I know not everybody's a fan, and that's fine, whatever. There's plenty of Star Wars to go around. But for me, the sequel trilogy really kind of was a return to form, especially if The Force Awakens, you know, really sort of brought back that sense of adventure and wonder that, for me, was sorely missing in the prequel. So, yeah, so good to have those. And then we have the Mad Max anthology collection here, which is great. The Jurassic Park trilogy, and then the first two Jurassic World films, followed by Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising. And then we're kind of in the giant monsters kind of section of my sci-fi stuff here, kind of section, giant monster section. We have what probably is my all-time favorite film for a number of personal reasons. We have the original, no, not the original, Peter Jackson's version of King Kong. This is a really cool Region 1 Steelbook from a number of years ago, although it is starting to kind of rust a little bit. But this version right here is really the version you want, which is the Ultimate Edition, which has all of the production diaries, all the documentaries and everything. It's really, really great. And then we have Godzilla 1998, also known as Zilla, also known as Gino, Godzilla name only. I have a soft spot for this one. I think it's really good, you know, just solid monster film. But as a Godzilla film, it's not particularly that great. And I mean, it is the film that introduced me personally to the franchise. So, yeah, I have a big soft spot for that one. And then we have, of course, Shin Godzilla, which is really, really great new take of Godzilla from Toho themselves. Then we have Journey to the Mysterious Island, Rampage, and then we have all the MonsterVerse films, including the Steelbook editions of Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters. And then we have a bunch of Ray Harryhausen stuff here, and this is all my stuff that I have from Indicator, which is really one of the more recent boutique labels here in the UK. Then we have Earth vs. the Flying Saucers, the Sinbad film, Seven Voyages Sinbad, Golden Voyage Sinbad, and Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. It Came from Beneath the Sea, 20 Million Miles to Earth, Mysterious Island, First Men in the Moon, and then we have a couple other classics, Tarantula and The Land Unknown from 101 Films. And I hope you can kind of be able to see in the corner here. I know it's kind of dark in the corner here, but we have some more Godzilla here. We have my personal all-time favorite Godzilla film, The Return of Godzilla, which is my personal all-time favorite. Love that one. We have the Mill Creek Steelbook edition of Mothra right there. King Kong Escapes, the original King Kong. This is a bunch of stuff from the premium collection here, so I have it all together because it looks nice and pretty. The original King Kong, of course, classic. This is the best edition, as far as I know of, to get of the original King Kong. Them, The Valley of Gwangi, Mighty Joe Young, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, and Jason and the Argonauts. Kind of going into a little bit of Greek mythology stuff. We have both the original Clash of the Titans and the remake of Clash of the Titans, followed by the sequel, Wrath of the Titans. Both of those get a lot of hate. I don't know why. I think they're fun. I don't know. But the original Clash of the Titans is I prefer to the remake, personally. And then we have the Lou Ferrigno collection, which has a bunch of fun stuff, Hercules, and a couple of Hercules films, and Sinbad, and of the Seven Seas. And then we have the Planet of the Apes Evolution collection, which has everything from the first movie all the way up to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And then we also have Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes as well. And very, very much looking forward to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And then I'll just kind of turn the camera that way a bit. You can see I also have Independence Day on the end there as well. Okay, and now we're getting really low down here. We have the Men in Black trilogy. Didn't care for the latest one they did. The only Jumanji film I own, which is Welcome to the Jungle, which is definitely my favorite of the three that they've done. The original Jaws, probably the most underrated Steven Spielberg film. AI, artificial intelligence. Really, really like this cover on here. Really, really cool. Love that movie. I will say very, very quickly about this movie. The first time I saw it, I didn't care for the ending, and I think a lot of people didn't care for the ending. But as I've sort of thought about it and rewatched the movie a couple times, I will say the ending really has grown on me, and I actually really like it now. But anyway, and then we also have Minority Report as well, Inner Space, which is great, the 5-film Tremors collection, as well as Tremors 6 and 7. With the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy, which is the version of Ninja Turtles that I always think of when I think of Ninja Turtles. I love particularly the original film. That's great. We have Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, which was the sequel to the 2014 film. Didn't care for the 2014 film, but this one I actually really liked. It was basically like a live-action version of the original cartoon. And then we have the Spider-Man 5-film collection, which has all the Tobey Maguire films and the Andrew Garfield ones. And then we have the X-Men collection, which has everything up to X-Men Apocalypse. And then, of course, as you can tell, we're kind of in the Marvel section here. So we have Logan, which is probably, to me, the true finale of the X-Men franchise. I choose to forget that Dark Phoenix ever existed. We have the original Blade. I really need to get the trilogy set. I really love the first 2 Blades, but didn't care too much for the third one. Venom, which I love. I've watched a bunch of times. Such a fun movie. Really liked Let There Be Carnage as well, but didn't like it quite as much as the first one. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, very pleasant surprise. Wasn't expecting that one to be good, so that was a very pleasant surprise. The first and only Iron Man film that I care to own. The Incredible Hulk, the Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton. This is really underrated. I always really like this one. I actually prefer it to the original Iron Man. I kind of wish, personally, that the Marvel films would have followed this one a bit more in terms of tone and everything, but I get it. You gotta go with the more successful film, and that was Iron Man. So, and then we have the Captain America trilogy, Doctor Strange, the Thor trilogy, which I guess technically isn't a trilogy anymore, but I haven't actually seen Love and Thunder yet, nor of course do I own it. Black Panther, and then we have, of course, the recent Spider-Man films. I don't know, what are we calling this? The Home trilogy, I guess? Yeah. And then last but not least, this is really nice. This is the Avengers Assembled collection. I'm really glad that I waited for this, because this is actually a really, really nice collection. I won't get it out here, but it's actually like a really nice like gatefold collection. Yeah, really good stuff. And then kind of moving away into the DC stuff here, we have the first 2 Hellboy films. We have Spawn, which is very silly but fun. We have the 2 Tim Burton Batman films, as well as the Diamond Lux edition of '89, which I don't think you can get anymore. This is a really cool edition. Got that a couple years ago. And then we have the Dark Knight trilogy set, as well as the Superman 5-film collection. And then we have the Wonder Woman complete collection, which has the entire series of the Linda Carter series. And then kind of going into some of the movies here, we have the limited edition 2-disc set of the Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves directed Batman, which I was just absolutely blown away by. I think this probably is my favorite Batman film that we've had to date. I was just blown away by it. I knew it was going to be good. I always believed that it was going to be good, but man, I didn't know it was going to be that good. It was great. I absolutely love that one. Then we have Man of Steel, a film that I've always really liked, but every time I watch it, I start to like it a little bit more. I love it. It's my personal favorite Superman film. Love that stuff. And then of course we have Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, followed by Wonder Woman, followed by Zack Snyder's Justice League version of Justice League, and then Aquaman and Shazam. And then very quickly here, I won't go through all of these, but we have basically a whole bunch of the DC animated films. But right here on the end here, we do have the director's cut version of Watchmen, which is definitely my preferred version. Very good. But we have basically, there's quite a lot, as you can see, of the DC anime films, but very randomly here, this is completely in the wrong section, but you also have the complete first season of Doom Patrol, which I'll put in the other bit here. I haven't actually watched Doom Patrol, but I've heard great things, so I've got the first season ready to watch. And then we have sort of the remainder of the DC animated films there. We have the 25th anniversary edition of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We have the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection, all 3 volumes. We have both the original Space Jam and Space Jam: A New Legacy. I do not understand the hate for Space Jam: New Legacy. I personally really liked that movie. Not as good as the original, but I don't know, I thought it was fun. And then we have sort of my DC animated series collections. Here we have the deluxe edition of Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, the regular edition, and then Superman the Complete Series, regular edition, and Justice League Unlimited. And of course, I was very sad to hear, I was really broken up about the death of Kevin Conroy. Really, that was really heartbreaking, and I actually almost made a tribute video about that, but kind of, I think, a bit too much time kind of passed for me to do it. So, but absolutely love all of those shows, especially Justice League Unlimited. That was the show that really made me a big sort of fan of the DC universe. And then the last sort of section here, we have just sort of my remaining Blu-ray stuff here. We have the TMNT CGI animated one, which is really underrated. I really like that one quite a bit. And then we have the Ultimate Avengers movie collection. We have the complete series of the new Scooby-Doo movies, which is missing one episode, and that's the Addams Family crossover, which they can't release due to rights issues. And then we have the only Scooby-Doo movie I own on Blu-ray, which is Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Then we have the complete series of The Real Ghostbusters, which this is a German release, and it's part of their SD on Blu-ray line, which stands for Standard Definition on Video. And basically what that means is that this is not actually in HD. This is basically just the same quality as the DVD releases. But as you can see, it takes up quite a less space, because of course Blu-rays can hold a lot more data than DVD discs. So this actually has the entire series on only 3 discs, which is really, really great. And it's still in pretty good quality, at least just as good as the DVDs, so not too bad. Highly recommend getting that version if you can. And then my very, very, very tiny anime collection here. We have Ninja Scroll and Cowboy Bebop the movie. And then we have Heavy Metal, which technically isn't an anime, but I guess it kind of fits in with the same thing. And then very randomly here, this is pretty random, I know, we have the complete series of the Ronald D. Moore version of Battlestar Galactica, which I've actually never watched, but I have it, so the complete series, so next time I'm on a big sci-fi kick, I have it there ready to watch. And yeah, I just have it here because I just don't have any space left for it. And then we're sort of running low on time here, so I guess I'll just kind of very, very quickly just sort of blow through all of my DVD stuff, because I know people nowadays don't really care too much about the DVD stuff, but whatever. We have the 2 Mill Creek 50 movie collections there, so about 100 movies. We have the Halloween 5 and Halloween 4 limited edition tin editions, which were released a bunch of years ago. I initially bought these as display pieces, but as you can see, I don't really have much space to display them, so I may end up just selling them. I don't know. And then we have the complete series of the King Kong or no, the Kong animated series, which is on in the early 2000s. We have a bunch of Ninja Turtles. We have the complete series of the Millennium Ninja Turtles, except for the last season, which has never been released on any DVD in any country, anywhere. But I believe you can pretty much watch all of the Millennium Turtles series on YouTube. I think it's been uploaded to YouTube for free. But it's good to own these. I bought these a couple of years ago, and we also do have the Turtles Forever. Starting to lose my voice. Turtles Forever crossover movie with the original Ninja Turtles, which I do have the complete series of, as well as you can see the complete series of Garfield and Friends DVDs, which you literally can't get anymore. Those are not available anymore. So I'm glad that I was able to get a good deal on those not too long ago and find those brand new, which was good. And then kind of I won't go for all of these, but this is sort of my, I guess technically my Scooby slash Hanna-Barbera section here. So we have a bunch of the animated Scooby-Doo movies, which just aren't, like, even the new ones aren't on Blu-ray, which is really annoying. But kind of a little hit and miss. I used to have a lot more, but I sold them a bunch back and basically kind of trade them in, just kind of keeping some of my favorites. But we do have like the Scooby meets Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover movie, which I did recently. We have, of course, Zombie Island. My favorite Scooby-Doo movie personally is The Witch's Ghost. That was the one that I have a lot of fond memories growing up watching, as well as the Blues Brothers. I really like that one as well. And then of course we do have some classic Hanna-Barbera stuff here. We have the complete series of Wacky Races, and my personal favorite all-time complete series, which is the complete series of Top Cat. Which is my favorite Hanna-Barbera thing ever. Love Top Cat. And then we do have some other animated stuff here. We do have Looney Tunes Back in Action on DVD, the complete series of 13 Ghosts on DVD, and we're kind of out of focus there. We have a bunch of Looney Tunes stuff. I showed some of this stuff off in my Looney Tunes DVD disambiguation video I did a while back. We have some Cartoon Network stuff, the complete series Courage the Cowardly Dog, some Ed and Eddie, Godzilla the series, which is really worth watching even if you're not a fan of the 1998 movie, because that series is just actually really awesome, and personally I think it's better than the recent Godzilla animes that we've gotten. So yeah, and then I was actually lying. I do have the complete series of Hellsing, so that's a little bit more anime for you, as well as some kind of Halloween stuff here. We do have the complete series of the original Spawn animated series, which is really good. And then we have, moving on here, we have the Abbott and Costello collection. Really good stuff. We have the complete series of Third Rock from the Sun, the complete series of the original Addams Family. Seasons 1 through 17 of The Simpsons. They have released up to season 19. I don't know if they're ever going to release any more. It looks like they've decided to stop now, unfortunately. But what's great about these releases is that there are commentaries on every single episode, and the commentaries with like the writers and the animators and stuff are almost just as fun to watch as the actual shows themselves. So yeah, if you're a Simpsons fan, definitely recommend getting the DVDs for the commentaries alone. And then we have some sitcoms here. We have the complete series of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all 7 seasons of The Golden Girls. One of my personal favorites, the very underrated complete series of Becker. Love Becker, great series. We have, of course, I did a video not that long ago talking about these, the complete series of The Munsters, as well as the movie Here Come the Munsters, which was really good. And then we're kind of going into the horror section of my DVD stuff here. So we have some of the older Arrow Video DVDs that were released many years ago. So we have Slaughter High and The Deadly Spawn. We have really good this is kind of my Elvira kind of section here. We have Monster Mania, which is sort of a really good documentary hosted by Elvira and Jack Palance. We have Elvira's Haunted Hills, the second movie. We have the Movie Macabre Revival series, all 26 or 27 episodes that they did. Really good stuff, so they put all those out. And then we also have a bunch of the older Movie Macabre series, which, of course, unfortunately, a lot of which is very hard to come by. But this was released by Shout Factory. They released a whole bunch of them, so a couple of these are like 2-packs and stuff. And then this is definitely a good one of my sort of prized possessions of my collection here. This is sort of my horror anthology section. I'm a big horror anthology person, so there's definitely going to be some stuff in the future videos in terms of, you know, horror anthology stuff. So we do have both of the Tales from the Crypt movies, Demon Knight and Bordello of Blood. We have Creepshow, the original Creepshow, a 2-disc special edition. Great stuff. These I just got recently. We have Masters of Horror, 2 volumes of the Masters of Horror series. There are 3 volumes total. So this is Season 1, Volume 2, and Season 2, Volume 1. But, of course, it doesn't really matter because it's an anthology series. This is a fantastic, really, really good horror anthology series that I've, you know, been really enjoying sort of watching a bunch of these recently. They're really more kind of like mini movies more than anything, but they are a little bit hit and miss. But what's really cool is that Masters of Horror is basically a bunch of it's sort of a director-based series, that each episode is directed by basically a very famous horror director. So you've got Don Coscarelli, you've got John Carpenter, you've got Tobe Hooper, John Landis, Joe Dante, Tom Holland, Willem Malone, just a whole bunch of them. Larry Cohen, Stuart Gordon, and the series is created by Mick Garris, and I believe he also directed a couple of episodes as well. So, yeah, really like Masters of Horror. Unfortunately, these DVDs are out of print, so I was really lucky to get both of these brand new in a deal on eBay. If anybody knows where I can find the rest of Masters of Horror, I would appreciate you letting me know. But I'm definitely on the hunt and gonna see if I can try and track down the other 2 volumes that I need to complete the collection. But unfortunately they only did about 2 seasons, about 26 episodes total. But really good stuff. And then we have the new Twilight Zone, also known as the 80s Twilight Zone series, followed by the complete series of Tales from the Crypt, one of my all-time favorite shows. Love Tales from the Crypt, although the last season was actually, it definitely went kind of downhill in the last season, unfortunately. But for the most part, the first 6 seasons were pretty solid and pretty great. Complete series of Tales from the Dark Side. Are we going out of focus again? We are. Okay. Tales from Dark Side, the movie, Monsters. This technically isn't a horror anthology series, but it is basically something different every episode. We have the complete series of Friday the 13th, the series, which I am planning on. I won't say much now. I am planning on doing a retrospective, so I won't bother saying too much about that right now. I don't know when that retrospective will be out, but sometime in the near future. And then we have, this is a series that I've been really enjoying kind of going through recently. I got this not that long ago. We have all 7 seasons of the revival of The Outer Limits. I've never seen the original, but this one I've been watching. I'm on season 2 right now, so I still got quite a bit more to go. Really great series. I have to say, I really love the tone of this horror anthology. It deals a lot, especially the episodes that deal with sort of like experiments gone wrong and that type of thing. But this show has a very good sort of tone and style to it. If you're a fan of like the X-Files, this is really worth watching, because it definitely kind of came on the heels of the X-Files a little bit. So yeah, really good show. And then we have both seasons of the War of the Worlds series from a number of years ago. That's really good. And then we sort of have the remainder of the Godzilla stuff. We have, which I only have on DVD, so all of the Heisei and Millennium era stuff there. And then this is kind of a bit random, but again, didn't really have any space for it. We have one of my Blu-rays here. We have the complete series of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? This is the limited edition house box set here. This is really great. I think you can get this series in like a regular edition now, but I'm glad that I got the special edition when I did. And then we have a couple of the other remainder DVD releases. We have the Critters films, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Dracula Dead and Loving It, Blue Steel, which is a really underrated movie with Jamie Lee Curtis. Really like that one. The 1976 King Kong remake. I am not planning on getting the horrible, the new 4K version. I was initially very excited, but I saw some screenshots, and they've messed with like the color and stuff. Unfortunately, Studio Canal seem to be doing that a lot with their recent releases, so I guess I'm just gonna stick with the DVD. And then we also have King Kong Lives, which yes, I know is terrible, but it's, for me, it's sort of one of those so bad it's good movies. Guyver Dark Hero, which is the second one. Never actually seen the first one, but like the second one. Frankenstein 1970, which is sort of one of Boris Karloff's final films. Day of the Dead DVD, which I've had for years. Houses of Halloween. Crystal Lake Memories documentary, very good. Halloween. 25 Years of Terror documentary. The complete series of Forever Night, which of course I did a retrospective on. Really good stuff. Gonna do a retrospective on this, probably the Planet of the Apes TV series that was very short-lived, but was really, really good. Very good. Did a retrospective on this one, The Flash, the complete series, the original Flash series, loved it. The complete series of Lois and Clark, which I might do a retrospective on. This is a fun one series. I really like this quite a bit. Good stuff. And then we have the complete series of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which I'm definitely going to do a retrospective on at some point. This is kind of random. We have the second season of Superman and Lois, which I bought. I did see the first season, but there you go. I have the second season basically ready to watch. They did not release it on Blu-ray here in Region 2 land for some reason. They only released it on DVD. I don't know why, but yeah, I have that ready to watch. The complete series of Murder, She Wrote, which is a little bit sad because, of course, I think it was early this year we lost Angela Lansbury. This is a classic series, and this pretty much has everything. This has all 12 seasons and all 4 of the movies, so pretty great set. And then we have the complete series of Banachek, both seasons of Banachek, which if you're a fan of like Columbo and stuff, Banachek is definitely worth a watch with George Rappard, really good. And then we have the Sin City Ultimate Killer Edition. I don't believe you can get this anymore, but this is sort of a nice sort of a box set. Has both of the movies on Blu-ray and also has a bunch of other like goodies and stuff in there as well. So you guys have had that for a number of years. And then we're sort of moving up into sort of my box sets and stuff here. We have the complete series of The Incredible Hulk. This is the Region 1 version. This is the one you want to get. If you will like me and live in the UK, do not, I repeat, do not buy the Fabulous Films collection because they messed with the transfer, the contrast, it's like way too dark in the night scenes. It's complete crap. This version though is not. This is the transfer you want, and the good thing is that this is apparently region free. So this is the one you want to get. I did do an entire video about it, so be sure to check that out if you want. We have, of course, the complete series of Sequest on Blu-ray. Be sure to check that out. Oh, we do have the Incredible Hulk sort of post-series movies, which probably are never going to be released on Blu-ray, so I kept the DVD of those. And then, very ironically, after I told you not to get the Fabulous Films of The Incredible Hulk, do get the Fabulous Films collection of Northern Exposure, because this is actually, I mean, really, Fabulous Films for the most part are pretty great. They've actually been putting out a lot of great stuff. I don't know what happened. I guess it was a bad day at the office with the Hulk. This one, though, is fantastic. This is a great transfer, and you've got all of the original music intact and everything, and yeah, for me, this is my personal all-time favorite TV series. I absolutely love it. Look, I won't say much about this because I probably will do a retrospective at some point when I feel like it. I don't know when, but yeah, love it, love it, love it. The Clint Eastwood Blu-ray collection has basically, I like to refer to this as the Clint Eastwood Universal collection because this basically has all the movies that he did with Universal. Because of course this collection was put out by Universal in one set. So that has Joe Kidd, Play Misty for Me, Coogan's Bluff, The Eiger Sanction, High Plains Drifter, a bunch of movies in that. So that's really good. Then we have another edition, a special edition from, I think it's Germany. This is like a special box edition of Halloween Free, which is pretty cool to own. Koyanis Katsi. We have the complete series of The Time Tunnel, which is basically the original Quantum Leap, Irwin Allen's only series on Blu-ray. Good stuff. And then we have kind of some Private Eye stuff here. We have the complete series of Columbo. We have all 6 seasons of the Rockford Files, as well as the Rockford Files movies as well, which is pretty great. And then right up at the top, as we're at the top of the shelf here, at the end here, we have both seasons of Dark Angel, James Cameron's Dark Angel series. So bummed that it got cancelled after only 2 seasons. It was really, really good. But those are the original big box season sets of both of those. Really happy to have those. This is definitely kind of the crown jewel of my collection here, or at least one of the crown jewels. We have the Criterion collection of the Godzilla Showa era collection. Like a lot of people, I love this as a display piece. It looks great on the shelf, but like a lot of people, I do wish they would have put out a version where it was shaped more like a regular box set instead of this very cumbersome kind of book casing and everything. But I mean, you can't complain too much. The main thing is that you get the movies and everything and Blu-ray. So yeah, great stuff. And then we have the Elvira Box of Horror, which is basically Elvira hosting a bunch of classic horror movies. So House on Haunted Hill, Night of the Living Dead, Carnival of Souls, and you also have the option to watch the movies by themselves, but why would you ever do that? Anyway, then we have Star Trek The Next Generation on Blu-ray, one of the best Blu-ray collections there is, so if you're a fan of the show, you owe it to yourself to get that collection. Really, really good. The Ultimate Collection of Babylon 5, which, yes, I will be doing a retrospective on at some point. It'll probably be a 2-part one, because I'll probably have quite a bit to say about it. This is in like my top 3 all-time favorite shows, honestly. It's kind of a tie between this and maybe Northern Exposure, honestly, for me. But this is the collection of Babylon 5 that you want to get. This has everything. This has the original pilot movie. This has all 5 seasons of the show. This has every episode of the Crusade spin-off series. This has all the movies. Everything Babylon 5 is in that box. So that's the box that you want to get if you're looking to get into Babylon 5, or if you're a fan of Babylon 5. And then we have the Looney Tunes Golden Collection, which I did showcase in my Looney Tunes Disambiguation a while ago. Good stuff. And then sort of ending off here, we have a bunch of sitcom box sets here. We have complete series of Married with Children, complete series of Taxi, complete series of The King of Queens, complete series of Everybody Loves Raymond, complete series of Cheers, complete series of Frasier, which is my all-time favorite sitcom, and the complete series of Home Improvement. Oh yeah, and then basically ending off here, we have the complete series of the original Twilight Zone on Blu-ray, kind of tucked away in the corner here, in its own dimension, if you will. Love this. This is a great set from Medium Rare, and I'm very, very happy because as of this recording, I just put in my pre-order for the complete series of The Outer Limits. Medium Rare are putting out the complete series of The Outer Limits on Blu-ray, so that will go very nicely with this collection. But that's pretty much it. So there you go, that is my collection overview 2022 video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This could be something maybe I do once every 2 years or something when my collection changes and morphs and stuff. I did go a little bit over time. I was initially not planning on this video probably being as long as it's going to end up being, however long that is. But I hope that you enjoyed it, and some of this stuff I definitely will be talking about in videos in the future. So if you enjoyed this video, then there's going to be more to look forward to. So yeah, so until next time, thanks for watching, and be sure to consume as much entertainment as humanly possible, and I will see you in the next video.